scripture for today, is Luke 5, 1 through 11. Today, I would like to do a little something different during our sermon time. And so, I'd like to help you experience being a part of the scripture for today. So here goes. Imagine that you are sitting in your fishing boat on the shore of the sea. You can smell the sea, feel the salt on your face, and the stale smell of old fish in your boat. You hear the small waves gently lapping on the shore. The sun is just coming up, rising over the sea. You are mending the nets that have been torn during your work the night before. You are working all night, throwing these heavy, soaking nets into the sea time after time after time, pulling them in time after time after time, straining your muscles, straining your fingers, ripping the skin time after time, all night long, and nothing to show for it. That's very frustrating. And your mind wanders to other areas of your life where you seem to keep working at things. Relationships, people, conversations that never seem to end on the right note, kids feeling alienated, your spouse, your parents. Now the sun is beginning to warm up the morning. As you prepare to throw your nets into the boat, maybe tonight will be a better catch. But then you hear some people coming down the shore. There usually aren't very many people out this early in the day. But then you realize Jesus said he would be coming to meet you at your boat this morning. He was in the synagogue the day before, and he stayed at your house last night. Jesus. You never quite met anyone like him. When he speaks, there is this calmness that settles on your heart and mind. It seems as though the entire world stops in that moment to listen to what he's saying. And what he says is, it's as though he knows all of your worries and fears. And then he shows you God's power and presence. And your worries and your sorrows fade away. Suddenly, Jesus is standing right in front of you. He smiles at you because he's waking you from your daydream. And he asks you to take him out on the water just a little bit. There's such a crowd that he needs a little space to be able to speak to everyone. So you push your boat out into the cold water and you jump in. Now you are in the boat with Jesus. You pull on the oars a little bit to slow down the drift, and the waves gently rock the boat side to side. And Jesus starts speaking. And something happens to your mind. There is this spaciousness and openness. And you feel almost as though the peace of heaven has descended around you. And you hear Jesus' words, "Blessed are you who are poor, for yours is the kingdom of God. Blessed are you who are hungry now, for you will be filled. Blessed are you who weep now, for you will laugh." And then he tells these stories about God and God's love and grace. And Jesus just paints this picture of how God can enter your life and your world and change everything, bringing hope and life and joy. And suddenly the time has passed so quickly. The sun is overhead and the crowd is dispersing. And Jesus tells you to go out into the deep water and put down your nets. The deep water? Nobody fishes in the deep waters. It's dangerous out there. Storms come up on you suddenly. People know this. Your boat gets swamped and you drown. You've seen boats that are washed up on the shore, broken pieces of wood, broken lives because someone took a chance, because someone ventured out, from the safety that they'd always known. Everybody fishes closer to the shore. Everybody knows where it's safe and secure. And you start to tell Jesus all these things about the dangers, about there's no fish out there. You fished all night. You couldn't catch anything. There's nothing out there, Jesus. It's just not worth the risk. But he asks you again. And you realize there's no point in telling him. He knows all the risks. He too has seen the broken boats on the shore, the broken lives of those people who have lost their way, those who were overwhelmed by the storms. And so you hoist the sail. And the wind pulls you out into the deep. Out into your fears, out into places where you might admit that you were wrong. The deep places where you might have to forgive or simply accept the losses of life. The deep places where God might meet you, alone, vulnerable, and helpless. And then you hear Jesus say, "Put out your nets." And so you do. Throwing them out, handful after handful. You're sore, you're tired, and you're a little afraid. But then the nets go taut immediately. You feel them pull you down. There's so many fish that you can't even pull it in. You shout to your friends who are closer to shore, shouting for them to come and help you. You've never seen a catch like this. You've never heard of a catch like this. Your boat is almost sinking, and your friends pull the other side of the nets, and you pull the nets to the shore and to pull them onto the beach, and suddenly it hits you what's just happened. And you look up at Jesus standing in the boat, and the sun is shining all around him, and you realize that there is no power in all the world that can do what Jesus has just done. Only God, only the power of God standing there before you. And you imagine, you start to imagine what other things God might do with you or with your life if God takes control, if God enters in with all his power and glory. What would you become? Who would you become? And you barely even hear yourself say it, but you hear the words come out of your mouth. Go away from me, Lord, for I am a sinful person. And then Jesus smiles. He knows what you're thinking. He knows your fears. He knows that you'd rather play it safe. He knows all of what you're thinking and feeling. And then Jesus says, don't be afraid. From now on, you will be catching people. And you drop everything. All the fish, all the wealth, all the expectations and worries, all the resentments, all of the anger and disappointments. You drop them all to follow Jesus and whatever He will bring.